Welcome to Mind Yourself, a podcast sharing real life stories from real people, alongside conversations about mental health and emotional well-being. Listener discretion is advised, as this episode may include themes some listeners may find distressing. Wherever you're joining us from, whether you're walking, driving, or taking a quiet moment for yourself, you're very welcome here. Let's get started. Today we welcome Max Cody to the Force One's Mind Yourself podcast. Welcome, Max.
Hello, thank you very much.
Max, you are a digital creator and you're the owner of Foreshore Adventures. Can you tell us a little bit about Foreshore Adventures, please?
Yeah, so Foreshore Adventures is a business I started last year. Started last June, and I've always wanted to start my own business. I just never really knew where I was going to go with it. And then I was in the outdoor industry now 6 years, since 2020. And I've learned all these skills from different centres, sailing clubs and stuff that I've worked in. So I just decided to bring all of that and bring it to Laytown, because there's nothing in Laytown. So we do paddleboarding on the beautiful River Nanny. It's gorgeous. We start in the estuary. We make our way towards Julianstown with the tide bringing us up. We get to Ballygarth Castle, just go a slight bit past it. It's amazing. Every meander of the river you go on is just a different landscape, and it's just absolutely stunning. But as we turn back, the tide brings us home. So I want to make it as easy for everyone as possible, so everyone can. It's an experience for everybody. That's what I want to make it. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. But it's
amazing. It's such a good location for it as well, out in Laytown too. So this is something that you set up in recent years, Max. Prior to that, I think you were working in the Dublin bar scene. What was that like?
Yeah, I was working in bars. I was in hospitality. It was at the time it was great. You know, I was young, in my young 20s, and it was just pure chaos. But it took its toll, and obviously when COVID came about, it was the first industry to go. So I had a bit of time to rethink. But it was just very antisocial hours. Like I was working 12, 14, sometimes like 16 hours, and getting home at God knows what hour. Like, yeah, it was a lot of drinking. It was a lot of, it's just a life that I just don't want to go back to.
Mm.
But
What sort of an impact did that have on you, the late nights and the long hours and the antisocial element of it?
I'd say I was a bit of a grump, to be honest. But just very tired all the time, very pale. Didn't really see the outdoors much. You're always indoors watching people enjoy themselves. The sunny days come in. But it was just at the time it was great. But looking back now, just couldn't do it again.
And have you always had a pull towards nature, or was this something that developed on the back of not being very happy in your work?
Yeah. So growing up, I grew up in Sutton, just beside Howth. So I was right beside the sea from a very young age, and I spent all of my summers swimming in the sea. Not even summer, all winter as well. I used to run in from school fully clothed in my uniform, just dive into the sea when I went for walks with my grandparents. And
Howth Hill,
yeah, we used to jump off the cliffs there. Wouldn't recommend it, but I used to do it, and it's great crack. Just always about the sea, so it was always there, and especially Howth Hill. It has like the forest aspect to it as well. So yeah, used to spend countless hours with a friend and a cousin, just after school, just climbing trees, jumping off trees, pretending to be a soldier. Like it was brilliant. So it's always been there. It's always been a huge part of my early life.
And Laytown's not where you're from either, though, is it? You're from Dublin,
Yeah.
And you came to Laytown, I think, via Cork.
Yeah. So 2020, it was actually the January in 2020. I was down in Dingle, and I was in this pub. And there was a couple there, and I noticed out of everyone in the whole pub that they were very happy. Like they're the happiest people there. They were in like this hiking gear. They were just covered in mud, and I was like, "What? These guys are? I need to check what these guys are doing." So I went up, and I asked them. I said, "Guys, I just noticed from across the bar." I was like, "You seem very happy," and I just said, "What do you do?" And they said, "Oh yeah, check this out." And they just showed me their phone, and it was them like abseiling off this cliff, 200 feet high. They said, and there was just this crashing waves beneath them, and I was like, "Oh, that's class, guys." So you're climbers? And they're like, "No, we're doing this course in Kerry in Captain-Lee." I was like, "Oh, deadly." And then they're like, "Yeah, we get paid for it." And I was like, "Yeah, paid to do that?" So it went in the back of my head anyway. And then during the first lockdown, I was like, "Oh, that couple." was like, I want to change my life. Do you know, I want to just do something new. So I started looking up that course, and then Kinsale College popped up. So I applied to the course. There's a 2-year course there, outdoor education and outdoor leadership course. Sorry, an outdoor leadership course. And I applied and had an interview, an online interview. And I'd say by the end of August that year, I moved down to Kinsale, and my life just took off from there in a whole new direction for the best.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And so there was a big change, a massive, massive change for you. What did the outdoors give you that the city nightlife culture didn't give you?
It was definitely freedom. There was a whole level of freedom to it, that you're using the elements to your advantage. You know, wind, we were sailing pretty much every day, kayaking. Like you're using your body and you're using the elements to your advantage, and you're just seeing places from a different perspective that most people wouldn't see. It's just the freedom aspect of it. So rather than just being in this concrete jungle, sort of like being in this like prison of serving people alcohol. You know, it's just, and busyness. It's not busy in the outdoors. You can take your time with things.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, definitely the freedom.
You do some
aspect.
work along the Liffey as well, don't you? What do you do in Dublin?
Oh yeah. So I was working on the Liffey, and I was giving kayaking tours. It was a historical tour, but it was I was driving a little powerboat, and I was bringing people on kayaks. They also they host concerts underneath O'Connell Bridge, so that's a totally unique thing as well.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, all my focus really is up in Laytown now, which is great. But yeah, it was.
And for anybody who doesn't know, what is paddleboarding?
So paddleboarding is, picture a surfboard, but it's like 4 times the size of a surfboard. It's for standing on. So stand-up paddleboarding, or supping, it's known as, is you stand on a board and you have a paddle with just one blade. So instead of like a kayak where you're sitting down, you have 2 blades and you left and right, you just swap hands and swap sides. But it's very manageable. It's very doable. And most of the time, if you don't want to stand up, that's fine.
Do you have to be able to swim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd recommend being able to swim in case you fall into the water.
Yeah.
You know, but you do have your life vest on, so like you're not going to sink. It's a very safe river. Like it's not very deep. I think there's only 2 sections of it that may be over your head, but the rest of it's walkable. Like if you wanted to walk the river, you could. It'd just take you an awful long time. Like, but yeah, you could.
Never knew that, and I'm living there nearly 20 years myself more. Max, for somebody who maybe sees your posts, who sees the paddleboarding and the supboards, or somebody who maybe feels like they'd love to join a hiking group or start sea swimming, like there are so many opportunities in this immediate area for people, but people can be reluctant to take that first step, can't they? Why do you think that is, and how would you encourage somebody to do that for themselves?
Maybe it's because it's something totally new. Like you're not just walking. Like, well, hiking it would be, but for water sports, it's not something you're used to, floating on the water. So that could be something that in their whole life they haven't really done. So that could be just the sort of blockade there. But for the hiking aspect of things, it's like maybe it's because there's no mountains really close to us here, so they haven't really thought about it either. So it's I don't know, what's the word I'm thinking of? It's the unfamiliarity of it all. But there's some lovely groups out there, and they're very welcoming to all levels. They wouldn't do strenuous hikes unless it's specified as a strenuous hike. And I personally, through Foreshore, I want everybody to be as comfortable as possible. So that's why I use the tides. So it brings us up and it brings us home. I had a group of lads last year, and I could tell they were very stressed in life because of like jobs or family or whatever, just day-to-day things. And I was like, look guys, how about we just lie down on our backs as we're returning home? We all just lay down, and one of them fell asleep. And I was like, you just see him nod off, and it just brought us back. So there was no strain to it. And I also can attach seats to the boards, so you can use them like a kayak or Canadian canoe. Wow. So it's the best of both. But I would definitely encourage people to just go out and try something new. because then you know you don't like it after you do it. But most of the time you will.
Do you find that your clients that come to you are people who are stressed out and looking for a bit of relaxation, or are they more the adventurous type, or is it a mix?
It's definitely a mix. There's people that would do it, don't have their own equipment, so they just want to do it here. It's also something new in the area too, because apparently there was like no water sports in that river or in the area.
No, I think the closest was Scaries
Yeah,
before you started,
yeah. So I think people forget Meath has a coastline. It's this like inland county, you know, and I want to bring a lot more awareness that it's actually this beautiful coast, because it's like, it's gorgeous. You know, we're slotted right above Dublin, just below Louth. Views of the Mourns. You have Rockabill Lighthouse, and you have 3 beautiful rivers. You know, you have the Delvin, you have the Nanny, and the Boyne, which all have their own stories and history to them. So I'd encourage people to come along and just try that out and just see what it's all about. You know.
And we're going to come and join you as well for
definitely.
one of your tours at some point.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the world is, as we know it now, is very reliant on AI, on phones, on technology, and there's a real disconnect with nature, isn't there? Why do you think that nature has such a powerful effect on our mental well-being?
Just where we came from. You know, it's not artificial; it's the real deal, and that's kind of what we're all made of. You know, yeah, it just seems very intrusive, the whole AI and technology and social media. As much as I use the tools to help me get along, it just isn't sitting right with me either. You know, at the end of the day, if I didn't have to promote my business through social media, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, I think we would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would just be like, I just love the whole nature aspect of things. If you could just promote it through nature, you know, you're on the river, you're on a board, and you just scream from the top of your lungs, "Come on the next tours at 12!" Like, so that's what I love to do. But you know, you can't really be seen as a madman. But yeah, I think also that the outdoor industry is AI proof. Yeah. Like you can't really lead, an AI can't lead you down a river. So I think that there's a lot more people now coming to these outdoor industry, like sports and retreats, because they're trying to get away. They're trying to put the phone down. They're trying to put the screens away. Screens are so intrusive. Yeah. Like they just alter your mind. Yeah. And I've noticed that I have a terrible hobby of just doom scrolling. You just fall into the trap because that's what it's designed for. It gets me. And then I go, that's what it's for. And then I put my phone down for an hour and I go back to it. So I'm dreadful for it. But when I go out in the water, I'm only on my phone to take photos or videos to send to the clients afterwards. And it's just a piece that you really don't get anywhere else.
Yeah, as psychotherapists, we would promote the outdoors and nature a lot to our clients because of nervous system regulation and the increase in serotonin and just grounding. Do you find a lot of younger people are starting to turn away from the traditional pub culture towards nature?
Yeah, I've noticed there's a big, like, I rarely go to pubs now, but when I do, there's not very, like, I remember when I was young, we would have hoarded the pubs, like we would have like paraded through them. But now, no, not so much. They tend to be very sporty, and the hiking scenes become massive, and the sea swimming as well. There seems to be like they're just coming away from it in their droves, and they're more encouraged to do it, which is great. It's really good to see. And
what you're offering, I guess, is an alternative that didn't exist before. You know, the Irish culture. And I know Helen's going to ask you about this in a second, but the Irish culture is really rooted in alcohol and pubs, isn't it? But there's so much more to it. Yeah,
definitely.
Ireland has such natural beauty, as you've spoken about the beauty around Laytown. And you do a bit of travelling around Ireland looking for these beautiful hotspots as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Is there a place in Ireland that is, I suppose, your favourite place, the place where you feel most grounded?
Yeah, it's West Cork. Hands down West Cork. I used to think that was a county. Do you know, I remember being in geography class having debates. My teacher, there's Meath and Westmeath.
Right.
And I was like, that doesn't make sense. You know, there's 32 counties. I was like, there has to be 33. It was West Cork. Do you know, nah, but it is West Cork. Do you know, I just find that area is just so rugged and just so genuine. Um, it's up there with Kerry, Southwest Kerry. I don't want to cause any arguments, but I think West Cork has beaten them with
I'd love you
friendliness.
to meet my mother because she's a Kerry woman who went to school in West Cork, and like you, it's her favourite place on earth.
It's just,
Do you get to go much?
I try to go as often as I can. I come up with excuses to go, really. Like there's the film festival down there in Skull. And then one of my favourite festivals in the whole world is on an island called Cape Clear,
Oh, I've been
the
there.
Storytelling Festival. So like this island it's you go to Baltimore in West Cork, you get the ferry out, and I'd say that's probably my favourite place in West Cork is that island.
For anybody who hasn't been, the approach to Cape Clear is like something out of Lord of the Rings, isn't it?
Oh, it's magic.
It's just completely magical. Yeah.
And you see dolphins on the way over and whales and basking sharks. So you never know what you'll see. And it's just fantastic. Like you get the ferry across and you can see this island just growing. And you come around into the harbour and you just greeted with like these taxis that have like different wheels. And like, because they're on an island, the cars aren't taxed or registered or anything, or insured. So they can just do whatever. So like, do you know those big thick black bar mats, that the rubber ones? That was someone's back windscreen. Like it was fantastic. It's just rugged, and like they're such a friendly bunch of people, and yeah, that's probably where I feel most
I
at
think for
ease in
anybody
Ireland.
listening who hasn't been, it's definitely somewhere for the bucket list. You have to see it to believe it, don't you? It's just beautiful. Max, I just want to ask you, I suppose, I mean, what you've done is amazing. You know, you realised that the life you were living wasn't serving you very well, and you made an attempt to create a business which became very successful, doing something that you love. Do you ever wonder where you'd be now had you not done this, had you stayed in the bar scene?
Yeah, I'd probably, it'd still be me, but I just wouldn't be as happy or as free.
What
you
has
know.
it given you, do you think, most of all?
There's definitely there's a confidence to it, knowing that you're bringing a good experience into people's lives. Like the whole aspect of it is a positive experience. So you're coming at it with that in mind, is you want to give them something to talk about and something to really enjoy, because it's like something that's given me freedom, and I want to show that to them. It excites me all the time. Every time I go up in the river, it's totally different, totally different. So I get excited when something's there that I haven't seen before, and I sometimes forget that these guys haven't been on the river before, and I'm like, oh, they're around this corner, can't wait. Like, they know it's there, and I'm like, oh no, they don't know what's there, and it's brilliant.
Your enjoyment in nature is, you can hear it in the way that you're talking about it, and it's infectious. That's what it is, So anybody who maybe is listening today and wants to connect with themselves or reconnect with themselves, how would you encourage them to do that?
I'd really want them to give it a go. There's nothing wrong with seeking change. You can look down different avenues, but I'd definitely give one of those a look into as well. The outdoors is just fantastic, because we're on an island. We're surrounded by it. There's nowhere you can't go. It's not a 2-hour drive away from the sea or a river. And there's some experience you can try, and there's like just endless mountains and forests you can enjoy, and most of them are free. Obviously not the outdoor activities, but the hikes and the mountains and the rivers, you can just go and have a look at them and just feel the peace. Just leave the phone in the car and just reconnect with where we're meant to be and where we came from. For thousands of years, we're living off the land. Allow yourself to get stung by nettles. That's a good thing. They have they're antihistamines, so they'll stop limit your hay fever. I go out and walks, and I'm just going up and I'm just whacking my wrists off nettles just to give that sting, and they also give you a little serotonin kick as well, make you happy.
Yeah, our grannies used to boil nettles to make tea to help with allergies and hay fever.
Yeah.
We have lost that connection, haven't we, to living off the land.
And so does planting stuff. Like I used to, when I was living in Kinsale, we used to plant thousands of trees every February, and like you come around, your hands would be covered in mud and they'll be under your nails, and you just felt great. There's something in the soil that's
you felt alive.
Yeah, you felt alive, and like we planted a forest, so it's like in like 20, 30 years time, if I'm lucky enough to sail back into Kinsale, like, I'll see this little, this forest that all the energy of people that just came together for the one couple of days over the few years did. It's pretty cool. But yeah, just get out and just get the soil in your hands. I get my girlfriend to do that. I just go, come on, just pick up some soil and just rub it in her hands and just get stung by nettles. It's great. Eat the gorse
Even little
flowers.
simple things like when you go to the beach, you see people with their earpods in, heads down, runners on, just not really connecting to where they are, but even taking off your socks and shoes and getting into the water and taking the earpods out and just listening to nature can be so powerful, can't it?
That's it. Yeah. Go barefoot as well as often as you can, especially in the outdoors. It's just good for you. It's healthy. You'll feel great after the end of the day. Even just go for a run on the beach barefoot. It's great for you. It's really good.
Yeah, so you've probably answered this question already, but we ask everybody, how do you mind yourself?
I like just going a little quiet, and just going for a walk. I love walking and just going out and, picking some gorse flowers, eating them. They're really good for you. They're very good for your, if you have for your immune system. And so you have a cold, you can just put a few of them in a cup of tea. It's good. Sorry. And
where'd you get those?
On gorse. Do you know the thorny flower? Yes, they grow on they grow everywhere. Those things, they're great. They're very resilient, and they have that yellow flower that smells like coconut.
Yeah,
you can just eat them. And I just go out and I jump in the sea, or I'd just skim some stones. That's a great one. Just letting off some energy and interacting with nature. But I also just listen to some good music, and I just don't overthink as best I can. Because obviously there's some days that you're just in this endless pit of overthinking, but you always get to the end of it. But I just try to just quiet my brain and just have some moments to myself. That's what I do.
So if anybody wanted to come to Laytown and give some of your outdoor activities a go, how would they get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with me through Instagram or through my website, which will bring you to the Instagram or the email. But you can also get in touch with me through my personal account. I'm not opposed to people just reaching out, and you can just ask questions and I can give you as best I can. So that's Foreshore Adventures. So that's FOUR. I have plans, and it's also a bit of wordplay because I say for sure a lot. And
gotcha.
So foreshore, SHORE, and then there's also the foreshore, which is between the land and the sea, the foreshore. I actually got inspired by have you ever seen Better Call Saul?
Yeah.
Breaking Bad. Yeah, so Saul Goodman, which means all good man, or it's all good man. I was sitting on the couch and I was like, what am I going to name this business? I just want to launch it. And then I was like, we'll get there for sure. And I was like, for sure Adventures. And then it just kicked off from there. But you can get in touch through Instagram or email, or just give me a call.
Well, thank you for bringing Foreshore to Four Swans tonight. Yeah. It's been a pleasure, Max Cody. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That is it for today's episode of Mind Yourself. If something in this conversation has resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it, because these are the conversations that matter. Don't forget to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you're enjoying the podcast, a quick rating or review really helps us to reach more people. So until next time, mind yourself.